How do I turn off my camera volume? How do I turn off my camera
Mine is
volume?
muted.
Yes. And Twitch. Yes.
Got a call from my jeweler, this just in. And women love me cause I'm messing with their best friends. Not a
I turned off all other programs.
one night I'm shining all week, bro. I'm sipping Clico and rocking yellow diamonds. So many rocks up in my watch, I can't tell what the time is. Got a pocket full of big faces. Throw it up cause everybody that I'm with tailored. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's not. When I pulled off the lot, that's stunt. Reppin' my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, you know what it is. Everything I do it big. Yeah, screaming that's not. When I pulled off the lot, that's stunt. Reppin' my town, when you see me, you know everything. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. I put it down from the whip to my diamonds. I'm in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Somebody says my mic's live.
Yellow paint. I hear they scared of it, but them pros ain't.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the test zone. What's going on, Archie?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Doing good, doing good, doing good.
Great to be here again.
Yeah, a month has gone by already, right?
Oh yeah, time flies.
Yeah.
When you're having fun.
Yeah, when you're waiting on Star Citizen at least, right?
3.0.
Awesome. How you been doing, Arch?
I'm hanging in there. You know, work, it was stressful. The end of the fiscal year.
Ooh.
We've been flying around. A lot of cargo left and right.
Okay. On a serious note, were you still maybe going to get dispatched as far as work went, or is that put on hold now for you traveling?
I'm still on standby.
Okay.
They're setting up the communication. It's not a truck, but it's what the truck has without wheels. It's a box.
Got you. I'm sorry, guys, for not explain. Archie, why don't you tell them what I'm talking about in particular?
I work for the Army Corps of Engineers, and I'm part of the emergency team that goes to respond to natural disasters.
Right.
So I'll be going down to Puerto Rico eventually when they set up the team.
Yeah, okay. So, well, Archie, when that goes, hopefully we'll get to see you before you leave, maybe it'll be after November 1st, and maybe you'll get back before the first weekend in December, but I don't know how long they kind of put you out there, but...
It's a 45-day
45 days?
schedule.
Okay, so that means we're going to have to get a temporary co-host then, probably, right?
Probably.
Maybe we'll have to figure out a way to raffle that off or something. I don't know. We'll have to figure out somebody who can stand in for you while you're gone that day. That'd be pretty cool.
Little shoes to fill in.
Yeah, oh no, those are big shoes to fill in, dude. You're my compadre, so we'll have to figure out something for that when you're gone. But anyway, back to good old Star Citizen. Guys, Archie said this earlier. He mentioned it, but we're really excited because something special happened this week, right, Arch?
Oh yeah.
What was
Oh
it?
yeah.
What was it? Say it.
3.0.
3.0. Okay, and guess what? We have a special announcement from our fearless leader. So I want everybody to check this out. Our fearless leader gave us a very special announcement. Check it out.
Believe me, folks, if I didn't bring it up, you would never have it.
Can you believe that? Our fearless leader said if he didn't bring it up, it would have never happened. So,
Oh my god.
isn't that great? You know, he had something to do with Evocati. I'm telling you, it had to be. It had to be. Anyway, just having a little fun there. But we are excited that Evocati has gotten update 3.0, and hopefully, we don't know. I don't think this is going to be like the typical Evocati period because. Sometimes Evocati gets something and it takes maybe a week or two and then it kind of passes down. But Evocati's covering a whole lot of stuff this time, right? According to the normal thing, Archie. They're probably covering a lot of material. Yeah. Yeah, and so there's a lot of new features in the game, a lot of new things that we've never seen before. So they've got a pretty tough job cut out for them. So, I mean, hopefully we'll see it soon, but I'm sure it'll be a few weeks, right? Probably. I mean, depending on how things go.
We are working hard.
Okay, well, I'm sure that the Evocati people will do their thing. Anyway, we got something special today, guys. We're going to be talking about is support vehicles. This is something that a lot of shows don't talk about. A lot of times we spend time talking about the ships and we talk about game mechanics, but one of those things that kind of gets left out, and that's my phone in the background. Sorry. One of the things that gets left out is support vehicles, right?
Yeah, the support vehicles. They're very important for search and rescue to bring cargo back and forth. Since I was going to mention to you, are we going to? We're not including the Argo in this.
No, because I still consider that like a ship, even though it's more of a support ship. You know what I mean? So I kind of put that in the same lines as like the oh god, what are they, the Hull series and stuff like that. Just it's more of a support, just small transport cargo kind of thing. But I was more worried about ground-based stuff, I think, more than anything this time. So, but we will get to it. Believe me, we will definitely get to it.
But these vehicles, except the ones with the wheel, you can use them in space as well.
Yep. There's some dual use for some of these vehicles, and we'll get to talk about that a little bit. Let me ask you this, Arch. What's your favorite of all the vehicles so far, whether you own it or not? What's your favorite?
The Dragonfly. The Dragonfly is a well-rounded support vehicle. It has one cargo unit. It's not a speeder. You can't win races with it, but it does the job.
Okay.
Either in space or on ground.
Okay, that's pretty cool. You know what? The Dragonfly Black in particular was the one I really, really liked, but I think my heart has gotten stolen away by the X1, and particularly the base model. But I'll tell you why when we get to it. So I'll hold off on that.
Yeah.
Also, we have a special guest today who's going to be with us again. Our good friend Cosmic Trader will be joining us in a few minutes. But before we move on, and we are going to get right into it, guys, we're not going to procrastinate any longer. We're going to get a little commercial break here, and then we're going to come back with our good friend Cosmic Trader for Cosmic Info. So stand by. So I'm sure some of us remember that wonderful scene with the staff of CGI. But in this particular case, they're celebrating Test Squadron, and good old Disco Landell took a fall for us. But anyway, listen, we've got our guest online, Cosmic Trader. Cosmic, you around?
Yeah, welcome. Hello, everybody.
Ooh,
Hey, Cosmic!
there he is. That voice, boy, that voice. Cosmic, you should have been doing radio or TV or something, man.
I'm going to apologize ahead of time here for some breaks because I'm having really bad sinus problems today.
Well, you're covering it up well, my friend, because you sound good. You sound good. Cosmic, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into Cosmic Info. Why don't you go ahead and fill us in?
All right. Today, what we're going to do, I'm going to very, very briefly do the weekly schedule, and then I've got some items on the monthly report. The weekly schedule, as you have already heard, CIG has announced that the Alpha 3.0 has been released to Evocati testers. What you may not know is that they have also announced that starting with the release of 3.0, anybody that is a concierge member, those are the people that pledged more than $1,000, will be always in the first wave of PTU testers from now on. Okay? I thought you'd like to know that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. I think that's terrific. Okay, the monthly report is very well detailed this time around, and I thought I was only going to get a couple items, but I got a lot. So I'm going to try to cover them quickly. I think they're things you're going to be very interested in. First of all, one of the biggest focuses at all the four major offices this time around, obviously 3.0, but a big part of that is Item Port 2.0. Okay, they have made terrific, great progress on this, and I won't get into all the details. They had paragraph after paragraph of it, but they're still working on it. They're going to improve it. It's going to be the central focus of everything you do, starting with 3.0 on. This includes your Mobi glass on your arm to do almost everything with, star maps, putting clothes on, everything. It will have to do with your multifunction displays, getting in and out of your ships. Everything will function around this. So there's a lot of work going on to this, and so look forward to that. It's awesome. The next thing I wanted to let you know that our ship artist, Josh Coons, has started the white box blockout for the Constellation Phoenix interior and exterior. And I'm happy to tell you in the monthly report, the interior layout is almost complete. Okay, and it's scheduled for a review very soon. So that's the Constellation Phoenix.
Nice.
The part that I thought would be interesting also is the back-end services. It's all complex and complicated, but one of the biggest features that they tackled in the last month was what's called client disconnect and crash recovery. Now, this allows the players to return to the previous position after they're disconnected. You know, not if you quit the game or whatever, but if you're disconnected, a CTD we call it, and you lost your internet connection or the client crashes. What would happen if you crash out in that instance and you come back in? It will put you back into the same instance in the same group you were in before. Okay, that's almost completed. They also have what's called persistent cache. And according to them, basically, this means you can drop a piece of equipment in your friend's ship and it will persist in that ship even after you log off. Okay, when that will be in the game, I don't know, but apparently they're very close to having that in. The QA department, they performed very serious testing on the new launcher and patcher that they call the Delta patcher now. And they were doing this in conjunction with Turbulent because Turbulent made the Delta patcher. This is going to be awesome. From all the information they've told us about this, the Delta patcher is going to be really terrific. Okay, the next thing was...
Hey, Cosmic, real quick, can you just,
Yes,
for
sir.
those who aren't familiar with the Delta patcher, just in basic, what's the difference with it?
Yeah, fundamentally, and I got to tell you, I'm going to add a little bit to that. That's a great question. There was a nice paragraph about that in the monthly report that explained it in real good detail, how it works. What they've done is in the past, when they give us builds, each department, let's say you got graphics, and then you got audio, and then you got ships. Each one of these departments, when they put in even the tiniest bug fix, say they fix a scratch on your windscreen of your freelancer. Well, when they put that into their thing, it ends up in blocks of 2.5 gigabytes. So if they fix the scratch on your freelancer, you got to download 2.5 gigabytes instead of 10 megabytes. You got to download the whole blocks. Now, that's how that was done before. The way the Delta patcher now works is it's going to have The Delta Patcher has everything in one huge, say 40 gigabyte or whatever it is, 36 gigabyte blunk. But the way it's programmed is like Verify. It will go through its own block and only replace and update what's different. So if they give you, say, as an example, three patches, one's 100 megabyte, one's 300 megabyte, and one's 20 megabyte, it'll only download those three. So you only be downloading, around 600 megabyte or something like that, and it'll take no time at all. The other way it works is every time you log in, and that's important. Okay, if you're already logged into the launcher, it may or may not give you the update. I don't know. They didn't tell us. But every time you open it up and log into the launcher, it will automatically come up with an update button. You click it and it does it before you're allowed to launch in the game. So you will always have the latest patches every time you log in.
Okay.
That's basically what happens.
Okay, thanks.
It's in more detail in the monthly report. There's a couple paragraphs on it in there. It's a very important item. Okay.
Oh, we have a question. Rear Intruder.
Yes.
Will the Delta patch be automatic, or will you have to activate it, or a choice?
According to what we've been told, when you log into the Delta Patcher, it will know instantly if there's an update, even if it's only 20 megabytes. And it will have, just like the old patcher thing, the launcher we got, it'll say update. You click it, it instantly will do it as quick as possible. And then you can verify if you want, to make sure. The verify will be almost instantaneous, apparently. And then it'll come up with a button that says launch the game. So as soon as you log in, you won't be able to launch until you click the update button, if there's anything. Now, it could be 6 gigabyte, it could be 20 megabyte, whatever they decide to give you that day, or that week, or that month. They can slap in anything every day now, just little bits. And
awesome.
So if they fix your ship, for an example, and they decide, hey, that's important enough to get to the players, let's put it in there. They'll just slap it up, and the next time you log in, there it is. Okay?
Cool.
Does that answer the question?
Yep, he says that answers it. Thanks, Cosmo.
That is great.
Right. Okay. On the player relations, I briefly wanted to touch on this because Griffin mentioned it to you, that 3.0 has gone out to the Evocati. Well, their goal to this, and this is in the monthly report, their goal is to structure and organize a bunch of play tests with these Evocati people to get feedback on different sections, one at a time, on 3.0. And the goal of this is to get it, they believe this will get it out into your hands much quicker. Okay? So what they're saying in this big paragraph is they're going to task Evocati to do one thing and one thing only: get it fixed, get it up and running, then move on to the next thing, and hopefully get this out to PTU and then out live as quick as possible, because they know everybody's anxious for this. Okay?
Awesome.
The graphics department. Oh, my goodness. Huge thing. So I broke it down. They have added what's called shadow map support to the render to texture system. And you all know about this render to texture. You've seen it on your little comm display. You can see Griff and Archie talking to each other, okay? Kind of like here in Twitch. Now, the tech behind this, what they call static shadows, was improved, and this feature is enabled in 3.0, they tell us. This saves on CPU and GPU cost for distant shadows, especially on the lower spec PCs. So this is good news for all of us.
Awesome.
Now I'm coming to a section that's probably the longest one, but I think it's the most important to your listeners: ships. I know we all just love our shiny ships. So here we go. The first one is the Vanguard. A total remake of the Vanguard cockpit was completed to give players a more immersive experience, and it's now been pushed over to the artistic people to fancy it up for you. And there is a couple pictures of the brand new Vanguard cockpit in the monthly report. I suggest, if you are interested, go look at it, because I'm telling you, it looks bloody gorgeous. And I like the old one. Okay? The Sabre cockpit was completely revamped to function better with this new Item Port 2.0, and it looks pretty good. The Reclaimer, they have finished all of the LOD and lighting optimizations that resulted in what they call big performance gains for that ship alone. Okay? The entire blockout of the 600i interior has been completed, along with a first pass of the exterior. So they're really moving along with your ships, fellas. The interior layout of the Carrack. Now, I know none of you people like the Carrack. You can't stand the thing. You don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it anyway. The interior layout of the Carrack was blocked out based on the design request. The Carrack, according to Disco Lando on his happy hour, is now in the white box phase. Okay? The Void bomber is almost fully textured, and the Vandal Blade remake has progressed very, very well. So they're moving right along.
Cosmic, excuse me, did you say the glaive or blade? Which one? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you well.
Blade.
Oh, the blade. Okay, the blade.
The
Okay.
Vandal Blade.
Okay.
Yeah. The Hall C is art complete and ready for all the other departments now to work their magic. So the art department is done on the Hall C, and it's moving along. Okay. Your favorite little buggy, the Ursa Rover, is currently undergoing what they call a derelict pass. So as you know, you've seen people at Gamescom driving the Rover. Well, now it needs to be, like everything else, part of the derelict junk out there in space on the moons or planets or someplace. So it's undergoing what they call a derelict pass. Okay?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the environment team. I found this interesting. They have completed creating larger asteroids for us. And in fact, they have created asteroids up to 20 kilometers in diameter, one asteroid. So they can populate both Squadron 42 and Star Citizen with much larger asteroids now in the future. And why? Well, we got a lot of miners out there. You got to have big chunks of rock to mine, don't you? There you go. They also started development on what they call in-engine volumetric simulations. Now, don't ask me what all that means. And this is mostly for Squadron 42 in the Odin system. So all you people want to know, go to Odin system, look it up. Okay? And the spacescapes, what they call spacescapes, in Squadron 42 were improved based on 3.0 developments with asteroids, space dust, all kinds of nice special effects for us all. Okay? This part I like as well. All the old, what they call older locations had a bug clean out and an optimization pass, which was done on the worst offending models and material. For an example, Area 18 no longer exists. So you can't click on it and go to Area 18 because it's been taken out. It's in now what's called the mini PU. Mm-hmm. But in 3.0, the mini PU will not exist. So they pulled that out and they placed it on the Planet Art Corp because that's where it belongs. It's part of an entire city. So by doing that, they're pulling stuff out, optimizing it, removing stuff they no longer want, no longer need, because that was just a playground anyway, a test-based mini PU. If it's needed, they'll pull it out and put it in 3.0. If it's not needed, bye-bye, it's gone. You'll never see it again. And then they're optimizing all this stuff, okay? Right, I told you about the Delta Patcher and Launcher. I can tell you that they have greenlit, this is in the monthly report, what they call version 1.0 alpha 2 something, has been greenlighted for QA testing, for Evocati testing in order to get a better sampling. And what they want is a sampling of different type of hardware, different connection types, and different Windows versions, because they tested internally. So apparently what they're having Evocati do is specifically, we all have different type of computers. gaming computers, laptops. We all have different internet connections, and we all use different versions of Windows 8.1, Windows 10. They want to see how this launcher patcher works on all these different environments before they put it out to the public, to try to minimize people's problems with the launcher patcher. That's what they're tasking Evocati to feed back to them, apparently. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is all in the monthly report.
Awesome.
Ship stats. Ooh, there's a bad word. Naughty, naughty.
What that?
Okay. The introduction on the ship stat page that we all love to hate, they have added stuff to that, added information. Things like VTOL, retro, fixed gimbal thrusters, icons for all these different things. There will even be icons to quickly identify the ship's speed and maneuverability. This will be put into the stat page. The stat page is this is all being done by Turbulent, by the way, because it's going to be part of Spectrum from now on, and Spectrum will be included in the game eventually. When, I don't know, but soon. And they're adding maneuvering details as well, including pitch, yaw, maximum roll, that kind of thing for each and every ship. The specifications for your missiles and your missile rack manufacturers, models, size, all this will be put into the ship stat page. And they have created a back-end service that allows technical details to be uploaded in one shot, and this will keep the ship matrix up to date all the time. So anytime the ship developers decide to change the size of a weapon, the size of a mount, the maximum or minimum speed of a ship, or the maneuverability, all they got to do is feed this over. It gets put into this back-end server that they got, and it's instantly updated for everybody right then, right now. That's great news. Okay?
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Sorry it took so long today, but I thought that all that information was real important to your viewers.
No, that's all really good information. Cosmic, there was one thing you shared with me, I think, earlier this week, and maybe you could pass it on. And it was when you talked about the option that players will have when 3.0 releases in relation to 2.6. You remember what I'm talking about? About retaining 2.6 or not?
Oh, yes. I can talk about that briefly.
Yeah.
What they have told us, and I think this was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, on a Roundiverse or someplace. I can't remember, but Sig mentioned this. What will happen, apparently, is that when you get in PTU or live, when everybody finally gets this new Delta Patcher thing, as you install it, it will ask you the question, do you wish to keep the old copy of 2.6? Now, I know this will be for Evocati and the PTU testers, because 2.6.3 is still out there, okay? If you say no, it will completely erase it, and you'll never see it again, because you ain't going to be able to download it ever again, okay? If you say no, it will leave that copy on there, and you'll be able to play it. Now, I believe, and they haven't said this, it's only my belief, because it just makes common sense, that when it goes live, I don't think you're going to have that option. Only the testers, Evocati and PTU. It's the only way my brain can accept this. Simply because, as I just told you, they've removed assets like Area 18 that won't exist anymore at all. See, you won't have that option. If you want to visit Area 18, you got to fly to ArcCorp. In 3.0, there's a planet down there. That's where it's a little tiny section of a huge city. Okay. It ain't out in this little thing no more, because the little thing don't exist no more in 3.0. The mini map is gone. So I don't believe you'll have that stuff anymore. But for the testers, all of you people who are going to be PTU testers, you lucky concierge members, you'll be given the option so that you can continue to play with your friends and mates and stuff. And I'm looking at the Twitch stream, and there you go. You're out of focus. I thought I thought my eyes went. Okay.
Caspic, we have a question from Red Wolf.
Yeah.
Any words on the Crucible?
No, there was not one word on the Crucible in the monthly report. I looked.
Okay, thank you much.
Okay, awesome.
Yep, I thought I saw a question in there somewhere. Let me look. Where was it? Somebody says, I can't pronounce the name. Forgive me, you guys can pronounce it for me. I wonder how well 3.0 will perform on a Threadripper. I don't know, but I watched a review recently about, and it was Linux Text Tips, and he was talking about the new Intel chips and how they're going to perform against Ryzen and stuff. And he was showing that the way the Threadrippers are right now, today, that let's say you got the 16-core Threadripper. Basically, the gaming industry is programming all their games right now to only use 8 of it. So the Threadripper, in some games, performs better, and in some games it doesn't right now today. But if you're doing multitasking stuff like businesses do, and a lot of that stuff, you'll be using all 16, and it just outperforms everything in the universe. It is just really awesome. Now, having said that, everybody, including CIG, has announced that in the future, a year or so, whatever down the line, as they're programming and writing this, and other game developers, they will be making full use of all 12 or 16 cores in that Threadripper, because they know that a year from now, all the chip manufacturers are going to be competing with Threadripper. So if you bought the 12 or the 16 core Threadripper before Star Citizen goes live to everybody, I'm telling you, you're going to have an awesome thing, baby. I'm telling you, I want to borrow 4 cores, okay? You don't need them all.
That's awesome.
That was a good question. Thank you. Sorry I can't pronounce that name.
That's okay. Thanks, Cosmic. We appreciate, as always, the update.
Sure.
Yeah, listen, real quick, we also, Archie, forgot to talk about VerseCon, right?
Yeah, we're going to VerseCon, hopefully at the end of the month here in October 20. Well, I start driving on the 24th.
Yeah, you're driving a couple days earlier because you and I are meeting, and we've got one of our friends, Red Wolf, right, who's going to be meeting up with us.
I'm picking him up.
Yeah, and we're going to be staying at a place down there in Austin, Texas. We're going to be heading down to Austin. If I'm not mistaken, it's October 26th and 27th. It's a Friday and Saturday. And for those of you who don't know anything about VerseCon, last year, Archie and I and several people from our organization, Test, went to CitizenCon, which was held out in Los Angeles, and it was during this weekend, same weekend where the annual broadcast of CitizenCon takes place. But this year, they're going to be in Germany. And so folks in the States decided that they would like to still get together on that day and watch the broadcast that will be coming from Germany. And so they decided to meet in Austin, Texas. And as you guys know, that's one of the places where one of the studios for CIG is as well. So we're flying. Well, I'm flying down. Archie's driving down, and people are kind of coming from all over the U.S. to meet up down there. A lot of the Star Citizen backers to hang out, eat, drink, have fun, talk, get to meet people. We had a real good time. Right, last year we had a great time, didn't we, Arch?
Oh, fantastic time. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, I was going to say that's where I met you. I met most of our test members there. I met the, I said mess. See, as soon as I think of Montoya's name, the word mess came up. But
Yeah.
I met, I met
He has that effect. He
Yeah,
has that effect on us.
I met our org leader, Montoya, there, and a lot of great people. I had a lot of fun there last year, and I have to admit that even though CitizenCon was nice, it was just as much fun getting to meet people. So we're looking forward to going down to VerseCon this year together. So that's coming up, October 26th and 27th. I hope I got the days right.
Yeah, and I have to kind of do a couple of more bribes.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, Archie's getting his cosplay together. He's into cosplay big time, and he is working on
And check this one out.
look at this. He hasn't You said you're going to paint that one though, right?
Yeah, this is going to be painted a little bit less orange.
That's awesome. And those things aren't cheap either, which is kind of funny, you know.
So,
All right, guys. Well, listen, we're going to go to commercial break, then Cosmic and Archie and I come back. We're going to start talking about our support vehicles. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Добрый day, comrades, and welcome to the show where we put in some effort to review outrageously priced virtual spaceships. Moscow, we have a problem. In today's episode we review the digital Steel Bird to the Sky, the limited edition, available every 2 months, the one and only Anvil Super Hornet, which somehow looks like a good value at the price of $165. Boris, how is CIG getting away with this?
Hello, my name is Boris.
Boris, cue capitalist propaganda.
Legendary fighter pilot Ari O'Reilly once said, "Give me a fully loaded Hornet, and I'll shake the gates of heaven."
Thank you, Boris. Now let me tell you about this legendary pilot O'Reilly. The man tells a lot of stories. For example, did you know that Super Hornet has 2 pilot seats, which is enough for 2 grown men or 1 English woman? Of course, I strongly disagree with his misogynist insults. If like a Super Hornet a woman is fat, slow and expensive, you never say it out loud, you call it a wife.
Honey, I got the ice cream you wanted.
I'm joking, of course, all women are perfect. In all seriousness, Super Hornet really is huge. They classify it as a medium, but we all know it's a fat little small ship. Plus, just like a liver of a Russian politician, Super Hornet can take a beating. Add 4 guns and a size 4 cannon, and you can spread democracy across the galaxy with a little bit of recoil. It's a space tank and I love it, so I give it 4 out of 5 Putin. For freedom, comrades. На здоровье.
My name is Montoya, and I approve this message.
Okay, guys, we are back. And guys, I got your messages. Thank you so much for letting me know about the audio, which means I'm going to let Archie and Cosmic carry most of the conversation because I don't want my audio to be a distraction. So I'll just jump in from time to time. But we're going to start. Yeah, go ahead,
Before you
Cosmic.
start, I wanted to tell you, I like your new background with all the monitors and the desk back there. It looks really cool.
Well, they kicked us out of our corp. What could I say? They were doing the update to 3.0. We had to find someplace else to go.
Looks real cool. I like it.
Well, thanks, Cosmic. Thank you. So, like I said, we're going to jump right in. And our first vehicle, as you guys can see, is the Gray Cat. This is one of the first vehicles we got introduced to. So why don't you guys talk about it a little bit?
Well, I'll make mine brief. I hate the thing.
The Gray Cat. The golf cart.
I got 2 of them, and ever since the day I got them, I can't drive them anywhere without bashing them into everything, because it is the only vehicle in this space game that you have to steer and control with a keyboard. 4 little keys on a keyboard. And every time you hit W, it's instantly from a dead stop to I'm going like a bat out of you know where. And then you hit the little turn keys and it just turns like 90 degrees and slams into a wall. So until they make this thing steerable with a mouse and a joystick, mine's sitting in the corner collecting 6 inches of dust. And that's where it's staying.
So,
Yeah,
so you really like it, in other words, right?
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, it's a wonderful little golf cart if you hate trees.
It's a great hangar decoration for you right now.
That's what it is. It's a flare.
Yeah, well, hopefully they will fix that, Cosmic. I agree with you 100%. It is a tough vehicle to drive, and
It's a hanger flare.
yeah, it is tough. But the concept is nice to have a vehicle that you can take around in the hangar. When the hangars used to be large, you guys remember when the hangars were like 5 bays long? It was kind of interesting to get in it and drive to your ship, but right now we're limited to the 1 hangar, so there's not a lot of space, as you can see in the video there. But a lot of people used to jump them over ramps and all types of stuff.
Yeah, that's why we don't see them anymore in the hangar.
Archie,
It's interesting you said that, though. It reminded me, about 1.5 years or 2 years ago, Batgirl D'Angelo used to get in the asteroid hangar, and it was so huge with all these bays, she had no choice but to use the rover. It would have taken the whole show to get there.
Yeah.
Remember how big it was?
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Archie, did you ever try to run anybody over in ArcCorp when they had them on the ground in ArcCorp? Remember you used to come into Area 18?
No, but people used to run me over. I had a thing in my back. I'd run me over, please.
It's like a death wish when you came into Area 18. As soon as you walked out the door, there'd be somebody waiting to run you down. You had to run across the open area. It was crazy.
And they would jam it into the entrance of the G-lock bar so people couldn't get in, and the people in there couldn't get out. Yep.
Oh, I never saw that. That's hilarious. Oh, that is too funny. Well, you know, one of the things that is nice about this vehicle, even though we haven't been able to use it per se in game, you can drive it into certain vehicles. Like if you notice here on the video, it's being driven into a Starfare and right into the back cargo area. So whether this will be a vehicle we can take with us in places, I don't know, or just whether it's going to be restricted to hangars will be interesting.
Well, it fits in in the like Starfare, the Connies.
Does it fit in the freelancer?
Very tight. Very the freelance max.
Oh, the max will
It's pretty
take. Yeah.
wide. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. All right. Well, since this is Cosmic's most favorite vehicle, we hate to tear ourselves away from it. We will go to the next one, which is a new vehicle, and let's talk about this one a little bit. The Tumbril Cyclone. Let's talk about that.
Oh, the Cyclone.
Yeah.
Archie, go ahead.
Well, it's like a what's that Jeep that the Army
Humvee.
has?
Oh, the
It's
Humvee.
like similar to the Humvee, but a little less compact. It's a two-person vehicle. It comes in 4 different versions. It has a one with the missiles. It has 2 missiles. Another one with a machine gun. Another one with radar. That's for exploration.
And cargo.
And the cargo one. That's the one I have, and I have the one with the radar. So that's
And the cargo's the base one, right?
yes.
Okay. And then the RN is the one with the radar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, okay. And you can see in the images here, Archie described them. You can see the one where the guy's in the back and he's got a pretty large gun on the back of the vehicle. How do you guys feel about a vehicle like this, an open vehicle like this? You think it's going to be practical, or how do you think it is as far as gameplay goes?
I think it will be. I like these vehicles a lot, and I like the way that each one is specialized.
Yeah.
So that, kind of like in real life, you got the guys that come in there with the machine guns to help support the ground marines or whatever. You got the guys with the missiles to help defend off any ships that might be attacking, like in your picture right now, as an example that's up on the screen. Stuff like that. Yeah, I think this is great.
Mm-hmm.
And
mobility, they're very fast.
apparently they are, yeah.
How do you guys feel about CIG going this whole direction with ground vehicles all of a sudden? Because there are a lot of people who felt like going ground vehicles, like, what is this ground vehicle stuff? And it's supposed to be a space game. What did you guys think about that?
Oh, we need them. We need ground support vehicles, not just because fuel is going to be a critical part in this game. You just can't be flying your ships all around.
I second what Archie says, and I like his term ground support vehicles. I'm happy with all this if that's what it is. If they end up having World of Tanks, then I'm not going to be happy about all this. But ground support vehicles, because we have ships where even the Cutlass now, you can have Marines on it. They can jump out. You can raid places. We can raid the criminals' drug labs. The criminals can come steal our stuff. They got to have some ground support things. And I think from that aspect, the gameplay alone, because of all the moons, all the asteroids, all the settlements, everything, including big space stations and stuff or whatever, the planets are going to be humongous. Very, very large. Deserts, forests, jungles, all kinds of stuff. You need stuff like this. I believe that. But if they get too carried away with land battles, then no, because it's a space sim game. But we need these. I think they're great.
Okay, Ops Chief was asking a question here. Anybody know if the Carrack will be available again? I just responded to him, telling him usually the big ships will come back on sale once or twice a year, either at the CitizenCon sale, which will be at the end of October, or at the anniversary sale,
End
which
of
is
the year.
the end of the year. Is that November when the anniversary sale is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost every year in November, they bring tons of ships back for sale, including sometimes limited edition ships. Okay, so my guess is because the Carrack is probably the most loved ship out there right now, and everybody's anxious for things like that, I'm almost certain it'll come back on sale. It will be a lot more expensive than it was before.
Oh yeah, every year the price goes up.
And for those of you who haven't been around, every November when they do this massive ship sale, they don't have LTI, but they have insurance based on the year of anniversary, 1 year, 2 years. This year you will be getting 5 years insurance on your ships.
Okay.
And it's 5 years of game playing, not actual real time.
That's correct, yeah.
Listen, I'm guys, you guys can hear me. I'm getting messages about my audio again, and I'm putting this out to the community. I've been having this audio issue every broadcast. It seems
But
like when I get about, let me finish,
we
Arch.
wouldn't be
Arch,
having problems if we're not testing.
yeah, I know, but let me finish. I get about 20 to 25 minutes into the show, guys, and my audio starts to distort. So if any of you techies out there or Twitch nerds know what the issue is, or if it's something, a setting I have, or something in relation to my configuration, let me know what it might be, because I really am getting frustrated. I've been trying to figure this out every month, and it's not working. So Archie and Cosmic, you guys are going to have to cover most of the subject. I'm not going to talk hardly at all from here
You're
on out.
coming in well.
No. I'm coming in good for you. But on Twitch, I'm very distorted to them. So you guys are going to
I see.
cover the conversation. So we're going to go to commercial, and then we're going to come back and talk about the Dragonfly. Okay, we're back on the Dragonfly. Can you guys go ahead and jump in, start talking about it?
Okay. Hey, Cosmic, how many you have?
I got one. I got the yellow dragonfly specifically to put into the cargo bay of my freelancer DUR.
I have a mix of black and yellow. Black and yellow, yeah. I got 7.
And it's the opposite of the hangar flare.
You have 7?
Yeah.
Archie's got a lot of friends he likes to travel with.
I have a lot of ships, so they are going to be strategic, in good ships. Let's put it that way.
I think the Dragonfly is awesome. I like the looks. I like it. I can't wait one day out there, hopefully soon, to be able to fly around in this thing on a moon or something. But I think it's great. I love it.
It's a good utility vehicle. It has one cargo unit. It has you can have a person behind you covering your back, or a friend to help you out with exploration. So yeah, it's gonna be a good utility vehicle.
Archie, Rear Intruder's asking an interesting question.
Yeah.
He has a small ship, a Mustang, that cannot fit either a Dragonfly or a Nurser or any of these things in it. He can't get it into a Mustang, okay? So he's asking, why should he buy one?
That's all preferences, individual. Let's say if you're in the game and you make some money, you end up buying a bigger ship. It's good to have a support vehicle like that.
Maybe you guys could translate this for me because my audio's acting crazy. But also, if the group goes out, the organization is going out for a run, and they happen to be taking a ship like a Caterpillar, you can load yours onto them and go with them as a squad, whether it's for piracy or to travel to another planet or whatever.
Exactly. It's for team play, for group play. If you want to be one of the Marines invading force or whatever like that, as Archie said, support groups and stuff, then you might want to have your own. But otherwise, the people with the ships, they probably got them. You could borrow that. So do you have to buy one? Absolutely not. If you want one for fun, that's, like Archie says, personal choice. Okay? Or just fun. Taking it out, get somebody to transport it and go to the races.
Plus, if you buy one, you are helping the developing of the game. So, thank you for purchasing vehicles and ships.
Chris Roberts just said the check's in the mail, Archie.
I won't accept it.
Can you guys also talk about the difference between the yellow and the black as far as one is limited?
Personal choice. Yellow, black, black, yellow.
No. I mean, one of them is a limited. Could you let the
The
people
yellow
know?
one is limited.
Oh yes. Oh, okay.
They do this sometimes. There's no difference between the two except for the paint job, the skin. The yellow one, though, they made limited. The black one will always be on sale. And so they do that a lot of times with stuff. That's the only difference, though.
Yeah. So we're gonna be the yellow jackets.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's go.
The other limited one, I think, is the one that Montoya bought. That's the pink one with the little key.
Oh yes. That is. I think they only made one.
All right, we're gonna go to our next commercial for the. How do you pronounce it? Aopa? Oh, Aopa?
Opa.
Aopa. Nox. The Nox. Let's take a look at
I
it.
haven't got a clue.
The Nox and the Q. And the Q. Oh.
Okay, I just took your advice. I tried to plug it out, unplug it, and unplug it. Is that better? Is my audio better, guys? Somebody let me know.
Yes, you're
No,
good.
no, not yours. I need one of the guys from somebody on Twitch to let me know. All right, well, listen, it's still the same. Okay, thanks. All right, let's talk about the Nox, guys.
I like the looks of it a lot. I don't own one, but I like the looks of it.
Yeah, I have 3 and 1. 3 regulars and 1 Q.
Cosmic, can you talk a little bit? I don't know if lore talks about the company Aopa. Aopa. Is there anywhere in lore about them?
Not to my knowledge. I've tried looking it up. It's probably buried out there somewhere, but in the current lore there is. To me, it's a new up-and-coming company. You know, they're going to have a lot of races in the game. And they started with the motorcycle type races with the Dragonfly. Remember they mentioned it at Grimhex, it would be kind of an illegal underground race.
Mm-hmm.
And then they probably said, well, we need more different type of racers instead of just Dragonflies. So it's kind of like the Mustang. That company in lore, the guy started it to simply make a racer. You know, that's why it's lightweight, made out of special material, be fast. So that's basically what this Apollo or whatever it's called made this, as to be a sleek little racer. And that's the whole purpose of these things. But you can use them for a variety of things, just like anything else. But these were designed for racing. Whereas the Dragonfly was designed, as Archie said, for utility, support, that type of thing. This is specifically for racing, just like the next one you're going to talk about a little later.
Interesting. The Nox kind of caught everybody by surprise. I don't think, we knew the Dragonfly was there in the black, but when this came out, it seemed like we were all kind of taken back by it.
Yeah, I certainly was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Archie, how many of these do you own?
I have, let's see, 4. 3 regular ones in the queue.
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say?
Throws them around with 7 Dragonflies.
Cosmic, there's been conversation too about why do these vehicles in particular have weapons on them if they're racers. Could you maybe talk about that a little bit?
Well, yeah, I mean, we race our ships and the ships got weapons. Now, if they don't want you using the weapon, they just simply disable them like they do out in the racetrack now. They didn't used to do that, by the way. It used to be fun shooting people out there. It took all my fun away. Now I lose at the racetrack. Yeah, I mean, as I said, you could use these things as high-speed scouts, forward scouts, and he might need to defend himself. Or you might want to just whoop in somewhere, shoot a couple people, get out of there, and let the Marines come in. You've seen it on the commercial where the guy goes to get the cargo unit, and all of a sudden the bad guys are coming at him. Remember with the worm and all that, you could see those outlaw guys coming at him with dragonflies and stuff. So yeah, they got to have some kind of weapon on them. But again, if you're racing and you need speed, take the weapon off, get rid of the weight, or they'll just simply disable it anyway.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, you got to have some defense out there. You never know what you'll run into.
Greek Green just sent
it's
us a message there. He sent us the lore
yeah.
for the APOA in chat, so if you guys want to take a look at that. Thanks
Oh,
again for
thank
dropping
you.
it for us.
Thank you very much. I will
All
check
right.
it out. Probably read it, just don't remember.
Archie, are you interested in racing at all, or you just kind of got him more for just travel?
In time to time, yeah, I'll get in one just to try my racing skills. But yeah, mainly is for traveling.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, if you guys are done with the Knox, we will take a look at the next one. There's no commercial for this one because this was the one that really impressed me. This particular bike just got introduced, and it's the X1. Let's talk about that one.
Ooh, yeah. It's similar to. It's another racer, but this one you're standing. You're kind of standing on it, in it. Am I right?
Yeah, you're sort of laying forward in it a bit. It reminds me a lot of the current street motorcycles that people buy for high speed racing and that. You know how your feet go back a little bit and then you lean forward for aerodynamics. Uh, as I told you, I like the look of the Nox. I like the look of this one even better because it reminds me of a Star Trek phaser.
Yeah, the old Star Trek.
Yeah.
This one bought me because, well, Cosmic, you already noticed, I bought a 600i, and I just thought it complemented the 600 totally because it looks more like a luxury bike a little bit more than the other two.
Yeah, somebody was comparing these the other day with motorcycle racing, and I can't remember the three that they compared it with, but it's like the high end luxury racer. So I think somebody asked this on the Q&A not long ago about how it compares with the others, and there was a good comparison there between this and the Nox. The Nox, apparently, one of them is faster. I believe it's the Nox is faster, but this one is more maneuverable. And then somebody said, what about the poor old Dragonfly? He ain't as fast as either one, and he certainly isn't as maneuverable. And they said, yeah, but he can take shortcuts over rough terrain. These can't. These
Yeah.
got to pretty much stick to the track. So if you want to beat these guys, head up over the hill with your Dragonfly and cut them off at the pass.
Yeah.
That type of thing. So you still have a chance, see? But yeah, that's the idea. This one's more maneuverable, or one of them is more maneuverable, and one's faster. So it's a balance between the two. It's up to the driver.
Could you guys
Okay.
talk about each one, the Infinity and the Force as well? Could you all talk about what each one of the differences are?
I can't, but I'll let Archie do it.
Well, I know that the Force has a weapon. It's less. It's not as fast as the other two. That's,
Well, I think the Force is also the one that's for exploration, right? It's got the additional shield.
yes.
Once you,
The force actually has an extended, you know, the back end, how it extends out a little between the engine. It's been extended out a little bit to put an extra shield generator on there. The purpose of that is not for atmospheric flight. The purpose of that shield generator is to give you added extra protection inside that. This is for luxury people, and they like to be protected. They don't like to get shot up. So it's an extra generator in there. Okay?
and then the velocity. Can you guys talk about the velocity?
Arch?
The speed.
Just the racer.
Yeah.
It's obviously a little faster because, well, how do I put this? It doesn't have the weapon, and if you're racing, you can take off the extra shield
Yeah.
because you won't need the extra shield.
I think they mentioned it's stripped down, don't they, in the description?
Yeah, yeah. Basically, this one's a little faster, and again, you can strip it down. There's no weapon on it. Take the shield off. It's a little lighter, therefore faster and maneuverable. So, if you're a dedicated racer, that's probably the one you'd want to go for.
unfortunately, they don't talk about the speed on this.
Well, they don't talk about
sheet.
the rate of speed, but they do say that it's a stripped down model and it is the racer of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, again, I love the design. That picture of the X1 in the apartment blows me away completely. I love that image.
Oh yeah, I have the like I said, I have the Force one that will go inside my maybe, I don't know, but the 600i Explorer.
Yeah, the 600i Explorer can hold one. The 600 is the one I'm concerned about. I'm not sure. I hope I can get it in there, but it definitely. They said you can fit both a rover and a bike inside of the exploration version. Okay, cool. Well, listen, guys, we're going to go on to our very last vehicle, and we do have a commercial for this one, and it's one that a lot of people are excited about, the Ursa rover.
Ooh.
Okay, guys, are you reading me now? Okay, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and cover the conversation, but let's talk about the Ursa rover.